let's get to currencies. We've been talking about a lot of the different asset classes today. Can't ignore what's going on with the dollar, which has given up gains against most major currencies after a better than expected U.S. unemployment claims report. Vassili Serebriakov is currency strategist at Wells Fargo. He's also one of the most accurate predictors of emerging market currencies. That makes him a Bloomberg best strategist. He's here with us in the studio. Vassili, thank you so much for coming in to talk to us about what's going on. You know, I think the biggest currency story has got to be what's going on with the Swiss franc that we've all been watching today. A hint that it might be pegged to the euro. What's your read on that? I mean, how likely would something like that be to happen?
I think it's still quite unlikely. One has to sort of dust off the currency history books and go back to 1978. This is the last time the Swiss National Bank actually did something like this. It's a very strong form of intervention. Essentially, the central bank is committing to absorbing all of the liquidity at a certain level of the exchange rate. It would be a very strong move. I think we need to see Euro-Swiss below parity for something like that to be a realistic option.
So, I mean, despite what the Swiss National Bank wants, the people are going to keep piling into the franc, you think?
Well, I think they're trying to push down interest rates. Short-term interest rates in Switzerland are already near zero. They could push them down to negative. The problem is people are buying the Swiss franc for insurance, not for return. So I think as long as the European debt strains continue, it's going to be very hard for the Swiss authorities to reverse the path of the franc.
And I guess you don't see any kind of resolution on that front anytime soon.
Well, we've had a lot of resolutions, but of course they tend to not work. I think we need just stronger steps from the European authorities. First of all, implementing some of the decisions that were made in June. And second, I do think they will probably need to expand this bailout facility, the EFSF, to give markets some confidence that they're able to deal with the bigger countries like Italy, like Spain. And that's really the problem right now.
Let's talk about the flip side of the franc, and that, of course, is the dollar. As people have been getting into the franc, into the Japanese yen, for example, they've been getting out of the dollar, especially with the Fed coming out and saying interest rates are going to be at these levels for 2 more years. I mean, why would you invest in the dollar right now?
Yeah, we still think the dollar is unattractive, and certainly the commitment to keep rates near zero till 2013, I think, just sends another signal to investors that there are better opportunities elsewhere. Now, volatility helps the dollar in the short run, but I think once volatility subsides, we're going to see, again, flows into the emerging market currencies, flows into commodity currencies. All these currencies still have fairly strong fundamentals. I think they're going to be strengthening again once things come down a little bit. I mean,
but when, I know, if you knew this, we'd all be much richer than we are if you knew when this is all going to calm down. I mean, aren't these sort of global growth worries that have been impacting not only commodities but these emerging market currencies you talk about, aren't they kind of going to stick around for a while?
I think the growth worries are going to stick around, and we're going to have growth that's a little bit slower than what we've had before. But remember, on the other side of the equation, you still have the Fed policy is very easy. European Central Bank is extending its liquidity operations. Switzerland and Japan are pumping new funds into the money markets. This is all positive for those currencies as well. So while growth may be a little slower, global monetary policy settings are still very accommodative, and I think that's going to help commodity and emerging currencies.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us about this. We're really covering the markets from all angles today with your help. Thank you, Vassili Serebriakov, currency strategist at Wells Fargo, talking to us about what's going on in the FX market.